Good afternoon, everybody. This is Lemmy and Apprentice Show, and of course, it is the 6th, June 10th, 2013, and Hail Mary, me to all of you, as Michelle would say. And today we're going to be talking about nothing in particular. Maybe we'll talk about something about the weather, because I think the weather has to be addressed. It's really getting wet out there, and it is excessive. In fact, there's been already Tropical Storm Andrea, which apparently maybe this is the tail end of it. I don't know. Is clearly has given the New England area more than enough rain, especially on the eastern seaboard, to last a while. It feels like Washington State out there. It's wet. It's cold. It's clammy. It's yucky. Is that a word? It's a word. It's a word. Okay. Michelle's here, of course. And we are here just basically trying to make up for all the last videos that we haven't gotten in. One of the reasons we haven't done any videos lately is I haven't had anything to talk about. But maybe we do have something to talk about today. We could talk about the fact that it is overcast, it's cloudy, it's wet, it's rainy, it's miserable out there. Maybe we should be explaining how that affects people. Because when you start getting a lot of rain, you get into this funk. At least a lot of people do. I know I do. Michelle does. It's almost like winter or fall anyway, because it's like summertime. You think it's going to be hot, sticky, humid here in the Northeast. It hasn't been hot, sticky, and humid enough really to really be a major event. It's been rainy and wet, kind of like it was when Michelle first started doing videos 3 years ago in early June. Actually, it was May. It was May, and I remember those videos. You ought to know what you ought to do. What we ought to put some of those videos on here, sort of like a reminder of those early videos, how awful they were and how limiting they were. Yeah, I suppose you could. I mean, I don't really know if I'd want to, because it's kind of the past I really would like to forget. Now, by the way, what's going on with the registration of software? I haven't heard anywhere from the seller of the shareware. I haven't either, and I sent him an email message, and he never got back to me yet. I checked to see if it was in the spam trap, and it wasn't. So I think that something's going on with the system where the software is not giving us the software. Either A, he basically lost his registration key generator, or maybe he never ported it over to the Intel platform. Yeah, in that case, there's not much you can do. He's just going to have to refund my money, period. Okay, $13 for 4 programs. I would think that he would be willing to, if he has the source code for his software, compile it and get it out the door and get it ready to go. He might even be manually generating the keys by hand, which means, of course, it's going to take him a little longer, because then he has to figure out the formula that he used for the codes. I don't know. Really kind of sucky. Yeah, and what this program will let us do is allow us to do overlays. Yeah, overlays can be cool, because then we can put information up on the wall behind us, and that would still be useful. Useful opportunities to wall for something besides a wall. You've also been watching our video channel statistics, as I have, and what would you say is statistically is who's the most popular? Well, I think the problem is, Lum, is that you haven't really done enough videos lately to really be easy to compare me to you because we haven't really been. I have not been feeling physically up to maximum performance to do a lot of videos, and that really kind of slows us down because you start out with an idea, and you work hard on it, yeah, and then it's like you don't want to get out of bed because it's rainy, it's wet, it's soggy, and then like it's depressing. It is depressing, and it's really affecting a lot of people, not just me. I can assure you. And the worst thing about this weather is the fact is that we have gotten more than enough water now to last us pretty much for the year, because we have received in less than a few weeks almost the same amount of rain that we would receive within about 6 to 8 months. So that's a pretty big, change. We went almost from a semi-arid drought situation to excessive rain. Now we have too much rain. Um, I don't know what the spring or the summer steward's up to, but I hope that they um, figure out how to get better control of their events that they're doing. Oh yeah, we could talk about that too. Weather. Well, yeah, we are talking about weather, but I'm talking about the stewardship. Oh, okay. I don't know much about the summer steward store, so I can't really talk specifically about them. But I can tell you what we're going to talk about is what you call um, karma and the rule of ready. Yeah, I think it would be a good idea to talk about the rule of ready. First of all, in short and sweet, it says the part that applies here is this: is that what you do returns to you 3 times. In other words, if you do good, 3 times good will return to you. If you do bad, 3 times bad will happen to you. But sometimes, um, get a coffee here. Well, when we are trying to do a working, we trying, even the best of us, kind of have our spells go wrong because we're talking about weather, and weather is really complicated. Yeah, and it takes a lot of work to do weather work, and that affects a lot of people and their lives. So, because the United States in Southwest Greenland is such a huge area, let's not forget Canada and of course Alaska. You got a lot of territory to cover. So you're dealing with a very large, complex system. So if you are trying to, for example, with all good intent, to try to provide the right amount of rain, in this case, since we're talking about summer, or moisture. It's actually late spring. Right? And sometimes the system has feedback loops, and it can get screwed up. And when it does, you might have intended to give somebody nice, good weather one place, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, you create flash flooding and mudslides and, really horrendously horrible weather like tornadoes in another place, like happened in Oklahoma. This is really where a weather steward has to watch it, because it's not that they're trying to hurt you. At least the ones that Mother has picked are not trying to hurt you. But I'm not saying that, people could hurt you anyway. It's just our intentions are not to hurt you. We try to provide balance, but unfortunately, it's kind of like almost like the song, Lynn Anderson. I never promised you a rose garden. It's got to be a little rain sometime. Sometimes, when you're working with huge areas of the country, it's complex. It takes a lot of work planning. So, what do you think is the trends going on here? Well, since we got the phone here, let's take a look at this real quick here. We got a couple programs we can use to check this. The first one I'm going to use is from an iPhone app called Weather Maps. Now, unfortunately, for those of you at home, you're not going to be able to see the screen from here, so I will just have to read this to you and just show you what it says. So let me take a look at this real quick here. and North. Oh, that's South America. Well, look at South America too. Okay, real quick here. North America. Okay, North America. This is us. Now, I want to look at the barometric pressure because this is where we're going to see. There is a cold front coming down from Canada, and it's going from east or from west to east. Okay, so this it's actually shifting around. It's almost like a cyclone. It's like you can see shifting. Yeah, it's coming this way, and then it's expected to move out. But then there's another cold front right after it. Yeah, but right now we're going to be dominated by high pressure. We're going to be dominated by high pressure, but it's still going to result in some very unstable weather. Now, let's go to the temperatures real quick here. This is where the numbers really get exciting here. Right now, we see temperatures for us is like about anywhere from about 15 degrees to about, and then east in the north all the way up to about 30 degrees plus in the southern states. Now, as we go through this map here, I don't know. Can they see this stuff? No, they can't. It's too small. It's too small. Okay, so I'll just have to read to you then. As we look at the trend, we'll see that there's a blocking high, which we already talked about. Okay, and it's keeping all the warmth from the south out. Now, here's the thing: by they say Friday night. It's actually Friday morning. If you look here, you'll see that the trend is like this area here in the country is still dominated by that high. Yeah, and it's causing the temperatures to lock around a flow here. So this is us. This is New England here. We're just gonna get just the edge of this high. This Long Island down here. This is Long Island down here. So yeah. This is the whole entire North American continent now, so this gets confusing. I gotta try to memorize this in my brain here. So what you're seeing is, going backwards here, you see that there's a trend that shows that we're not going to be getting the really warm weather right away, because it's just not going to work out that way. It's just going to try to push up, but I don't really know if it will do that. Now, we go to, I always use like multiple sources of information. So let me go to the Weather Channel's website first. And as we look through these maps, and, for the New England area, let's go to the weather for northern New England, Winston in particular, because this is where we are. Right now it's 16 degrees Celsius. And obviously there's a full of watches and warnings in effect. So, pretty serious. Now, for example, tonight it's supposed to get down to 14 degrees on 100% rain. Yep. And then on Tuesday, it says mostly rainy. On thunderstorms, high of 22, a low of 12. Then Wednesday, it says windy, a high of 22, a low of 10, 10% chance of rain. But then look at Thursday, 18 degrees high, 8 degrees low, 30% chance of precipitation. Yeah, lousy day. And Friday, that's because of that high, the Canadian high. It's holding it all up. It's keeping all the warmth away from us, okay, because it's dominating. Now we go to Friday, and we see for Friday, again, more rain, high at 20, a low of 10. And Saturday is the first day we're actually going to see sunny and higher temperatures in the low 20s. You're going to see temperature high 21 and a low of 7 and sunny. But that doesn't stay that way, because I don't know if you can see this. They can't show. The screen's too small. I should do is take a snapshot of this. By Sunday, it says it's going to be high 22. You can see the warm, the southern flow is trying to come in. It's not getting a chance. Okay? And it won't begin to creep its way in until Tuesday. So Monday, for example, Monday will be rainy again. Okay, 22 is high, 13 is low. Then Tuesday, finally, we're going to start to see temperatures at 25 degrees and a low of 12, 10% chance of rain. But then it cools down a slight bit on Wednesday, the 19th. It says it's going to be a high of 23, a low of 12, and 10% chance of rain. So if I go to the immediate radar map right now, we'll see we're totally saturated by water. Yeah, let's take a look at that and zoom out in this and see how this affects us. Okay, so I'm going to zoom the map out to cover the entire eastern seaboard. And you probably can't see this, but this is the band of rain. Now look at this though. If we go up here to above Maine, you'll see there's no rain. Okay? And as we go over here, we see that this rain extends pretty much far right away over to Michigan. It's spotty. That's because there's a front. And the demarcation point is very obvious. It is right here between Ottawa and Montreal is really where it stops, as low as lower Maine. So right above Massachusetts. So it's really got a really strong situation where the flow is just not moving very well, very fast. And all of that results in what we call the wet, cool days that we're having right now. It's because of the situations that there's a blocking high. It's keeping all the warm weather away from us. Right. Now, if I pull the map out further details, I probably can get more information from other sites for you. Let's see if I can pull that up for you real quick here. So let me zoom this map out here a bit. And of course the internet is acting a little bit crappy right now. The reason is that all the rain is taking our network down for lurch. So I want to zoom this out some more. I want to try to show you more of the country so you can see more of the high. Okay, here we go. Here is the United States. Here is, you see the rain band here. Okay, so from, I'm not gonna go with Mexico. You can see there's a little patch of rain in Mexico. It's not much. So here's this area. All the rain right now is on the eastern seaboard. Yep. And if you go to look at the other information, it just shows you what's going on. Now let me see if I can pull up other information on this. I want to pull up the temperature readings. So show me it changes this thing so much it's hard to tell anymore what it does. It just shows precipitation. But it just does map. It can also be set to show you other weather information as well. Maybe if you tap it with finger to the location. I don't know. It doesn't work. You used to have this program. Really used to be really nice and sophisticated. Weather Underground is the best one to use for this. Good point. Weather Underground is another app we have, which goes into more detail. Thanks, Phil, for correcting me. I forgot about that. This, I'm going to show you this because I want to show you how the trends are working right now. It's loading up. And we're going to go to the map. Okay. Because I don't need to see all the detail about the extended forecast. It's pretty much the same as we already saw. So I'm going to zoom this on here. Okay. Okay. That's a little bit too far back. No, actually it's perfect. Really? Yeah. So I don't need to get down to the gradient details. Here we can see, for example, right now in parts of Texas it's 35 and 41 degrees Celsius, and as we go into where we are right now with the rain, you're getting highs of about 18 degrees, 19 degrees. Then now, just since we do Southwest Greenland too, let's pull up the West Greenland weather just so you can see the difference here. We're seeing temperatures for you of 1, 6, 14, 11, 10. And so that's really kind of fascinating to see that. So there definitely is something going on here. And for those of you who are wondering about in Alaska, you also see there's some alerts in effect for flooding and severe thunderstorms in the south. If we go to Alaska, because you always like to step over and ooh, it must be a false positive. Minus 48 degrees in part of Alaska. Wow, that's cold. Cold. And of course, in Canada right now, it's holding its own too. It's for example, in Canada, for example, in Montreal, Quebec. Let me go to that area here. Don't you love this computer thing? It's like 24 degrees, 25 degrees, 15 degrees. It's really all over the place. There's no consistent mapping. We are in a cold area. The cold high is pushing all the warmth away from all of us. Yeah. And that's the reason why we're having these kind of temperatures that we're having. And it's really, really vexing. Because I have wondering what is the spring steward's intentions. I have no idea. I have no idea either. But, again, as I said, remember what I said about the rule ready. You might be intending to do good thing. But sometimes mistakes get made. So, does that mean that because you're trying to do good and bad happens, that you should receive 3 times the bad for the good that you're trying to do? No, it's just not so simple. It's just like one time when Ed said is, well, because you're the winter, you're snow queen in the wintertime and you're doing all these snowstorms and things. What if people die in your storms? What if people get killed in avalanches and things like that, or bad road driving? Well, the thing is you have to think of the intent. If you want to do good things, and you're trying to balance the weather, keep things normal, and you make a mistake, and people die because of your mistake or your bad judgment, that's not the same thing as premeditated. Because if you really wanted to hurt somebody, a steward could do that very easily. It doesn't take no rocket scientist to figure out how. But because of karma and because of the rule ready, we don't really like to do that kind of screw up because it hurts us. Yeah. But right now, a lot of people, for example, are looking at the weather and they're going, this is crazy. All this rain we've been getting Pacific Northwest type weather. And there's another reason, which is that there's climate change. We talk about this a lot. Climate change is making a big difference. All the weather around the world has been skewed so much because of climate change. But it's not just an Earth phenomenon. I'm glad you brought that up, Olivia. You're right. It is not an Earth-specific phenomenon. It is happening also at our solar system. That the temperatures on the planets are higher than they were even 10 years ago. We're not sure exactly why that is, but we do know that part of the problem could very well be the sun itself. The sun, has been belching out serious CMEs. Is reaching the point of its high point of its solar cycle. It's 11-year solar cycle, and is reaching. This year is ramping up for its climax, and it already has seen several X flares. And again, there has been several news articles reminding us that if we have a significant X flare and it happens to hit us straight on, it's going to cause a lot of problems for our infrastructure and computers and communications. I work as a North American snow queen depends on having access to satellite imagery And not only do we have problems with the fact is that one of the two active working um, severe weather um, satellites that covered east and west coast has gone down. There's a spare, older spare in orbit that they're using. Um, but I think that that's going to be a problem too because if that satellite goes down, then we're going to have to really seriously change the way we do our weather forecasting really quick. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has said that they would try to use one satellite to cover both east and west coast by doing it in 30-minute segments. The problem with that is that that's going to use a lot of fuel, and there's only so much propellant in these satellites to take them so far. So that really would prematurely wear out the satellite's life unless they can get up there and refill the propellant on the satellite. But we can't right now because we don't have any other way of getting up there easily except through contractors like SpaceX and maybe by working with Kazakhstan and other countries to get a crew up there to the satellites because they're not exactly LEOs. They're pretty high up there in the. So it does make a difference, and it affects us in a lot of ways. Well, okay, let me ask you a question now, since I'm curious. What? How does this weather affect you as far as a person goes? I mean, this isn't your season, so obviously you're just as helpless as the rest of us are. Except, of course, you have knowledge of it to make an educated determination of what's going on. How does this affect you as a person? It's causing me to be very miserable, sleepy, feel physically ill. I haven't really been up to my full game lately. I try to keep active, but I've been worn down. I've been tired. I've been feeling sick. And part of it is because my body, it was trying to acclimate for hot weather, and all of a sudden now it's like, oh, well, I guess we can throw that normal program out the window because that's not what it's been. It's been very wet, rainy, cold, almost like autumn, and actually like early spring. So it hasn't really been exciting for me to try to adjust for it because it's just not working out. Yeah, and then it causes me to my body isn't sure what it's supposed to do. Yeah. So what? Given what you're seeing right now, can you make any educated inferences of what we're going to expect for winter? It's a little too soon to really give you a winter forecast at this point. I'd have to think about it some more and look at some more of the trends. But from what I can guess, I'm going to just make it quick. Um, it's observation that if we have trends like we're having right now, this winter is going to be brutal. Really, really, because I see the temperatures are just going to be really, really cold. This could be the beginning of the glaciation that everybody talks about as we are reaching the end of our interglacials. This is, could very well be the beginning of another ice age. It could very well be the start. But please understand, folks, that is just a quick observation, and that's not necessarily been proven by NOAA or by any other meteorologist at this point. So please don't go out there and say that is absolutely guaranteed to be true. I have to look into more detailed information as we go, but right now I'd say we're definitely going to have a very, very extended long winter, lots of cold temperatures. Unless something changes very fast. The problem is that fast is a problem because if it changes too fast, we're going to have events similar to what you're seeing in Oklahoma, here in Connecticut. More tornadoes, more severe thunderstorms, and that would be really bad too. So it really needs to be a slow warming, but it has to be It has to start very quickly. Within, I mean, the temperature changes would have to occur maybe in about a 2 weeks period of time to return to close to a June normal, which would make sense because actually summer starts, or Litha starts, on the 21st of June of this year. Yeah. And then, of course, we have autumn that will start on the September 21st. Yes, that's right. And in fact, let me pull up the exact information because this does change a little each year as far as the dates go. So let me go to the detailed map information on those dates. Usually during the 20th, 21st each year. This year, Litha starts on the 21st of June, and that's next week. That's next week. And so, also don't forget, we're going to be covering the opening, official grand opening of the Eclipse Salon here in Winston. I made a mistake when I said it looks like the symbols for the Wiccan calendar, the waxing, the waning moon, and the full moon in the center. It looks like it's the waxing moon. So it's, instead of saying eclipse, it has the big waxing moon. So okay, so it looks like eclipse, eclipse. Yeah. So now as we're going back into the month of, then we're gonna go into see if we have anything going on here for July. I don't see anything planned for July. And then we're gonna go to September because this is when the next season starts. I think it's Mabon. I think it's Mabon too, but I'm not sure. Yes, it is Mabon. Autumn on September 22nd this year. So it's gonna be. So you think that in 6 months' time things are gonna really potentially could be really bad. I'd say it could be, but I'm not absolutely sure in that yet because I try to compensate if I see that there's like too much rain, or if there's not enough rain. I try to compensate so I bring the thing back into balance. But right now, it does take a lot of work since I do like colder weather. And I do like snow, so it kind of puts me between a rock and a hard place because part of me says, "Oh, let's give it to them serious. Let's give them a serious 1-2 punch." I have to say that if by August, if the trends do not change, I'm going to have to change my tactics to save people from themselves because otherwise it's going to take a lot of work to reverse that freight train because it's going to be ready in raring to go and it's going to come down and the Canadian air is going to come down in December and it's going to stay and it's going to be cold and it's going to be brutal and I got a feeling we're going to have to work on hard to prevent that from happening this year because if we have too much snow it's going to be just like it was back in 2011. You're going to see a lot of roof collapses. It's going to be great for the ski resorts, but it's not going to be great for the average guy who needs to shovel his driveway. Actually, it was 2010, Michele. It wasn't 2011. Right, 2010, 2011 season, correct. All right, so the what about other things? How are we doing with this with the T-Mobile? T-Mobile is working out really well. They still haven't refarmed yet Winston for 3G yet. It's still an Edge, but I found out that Edge can play music from Shoutcast without a problem. It can play music from Pandora, no problem. Videos from YouTube work too. It's just that they take longer to buffer. Yeah, and also, if you're wondering if you have an iPhone, if you wonder why your battery sucks so bad, here's the trick. Delete the Facebook app. It turns out that Facebook's app is not following the rules and is constantly waking up, even when you tell it not to, and is constantly sucking power out of your battery. To check status updates every 10 seconds, of all things. Every 10 seconds? Every 10 seconds. but that's also the program that keeps crashing when you try to go back into it. Yeah, that's why, because it's kind of semi-started, and I almost wore out my home key trying to keep killing the thing just to try to restart the app. So I finally just said screw it and just get rid of it and just went to the web-based version instead. Um, I think that's a good question. Now, what about the new? We heard a lot of people were talking about the Apple's Worldwide Developers Conference, the WWDC. Yes. What do you think about the WWDC? What Steve Jobs talks about the Apple Mac Pro. I actually didn't see the Mac Pro personally to really look at it, but from what I understand, it's round. It's it's kind of like a, in some ways, it's kind of like a um, an iMac G4 pedestal Mac, but it sits on the floor, and obviously the keyboard and screen separate. Yeah, okay, but it's round. It's round. Okay, but I think what's going to happen Apple came up with a new operating system. It's an OS X. It's OS X, but it's called Maverick. What? Why would they come up with the name Maverick? It was supposed to be now it's for names for cities in areas of California. So we went from big cats to cities. Yeah. Sometimes Apple makes me wonder what they're thinking. Well, Steve Jobs was a cat lover, so that's why he chose cat names. And I guess Tim Cook is not interested in carrying on that legacy. Maybe he's running out of big cats too. Could be running out of big cats. And of course, the fact is that the other problem too is that Apple right now is kind of at the crossroads as far as where it's standing as far as technology goes, because Apple had always been, for long term, had always been known as the be different people. I agree that the new Mac Pro makes it different, but then in some ways they only just kind of extended what they did with the original round G4, just that they made it into a tower instead of a desktop. And the other thing is that I don't like Apple's choice of using the Intel processor. It really makes me angry, to the point where I actually see red every time I think about this. How they treated the PowerPC Mac owners so badly. Because we are PowerPC based Mac users here, and we don't like the fact is that we're getting stuck given the shaft. I really have to tell you, I have no problem with the G5. It works great. But, I mean, my processor clearly could do a lot better if they could just get more current software with it. Yeah. And it's like, why aren't you guys coming up with new software? Why are you guys, now that they're considering of using ARM processors in the desktops? That was one of the rumors that the WWDC was going to be, was that Tim Cook was going to show us using the power or the ARM chips in the desktop. I guess that hasn't happened yet, but it's getting there. It's getting to the point where now you might start seeing ARM processors in more than just the iPhone and the iPad. The Samsung Galaxy right now is very popular. The Samsung Galaxy is very popular, but I gotta say the Samsung Galaxy 4 is certainly making Apple a little nervous, because they're really pushing Apple to have to come up with something a little bit better than the iPhone 5. The iPhone 5 is a good phone, but it's really kind of, it's a little bit out of date. It came out in 2012. It's really, it's been a wonderful phone, but it's starting to show signs of age. Well, we're using an iPhone 3GS. Yeah, talk about aged. 2009 design. Okay. Yeah, it's true. And again, it's just an example of what we're talking about. And also, Apple, what they want to do now is they want to They want to start doing a trade-in program, which is great, so that people they can refurbish phones and offer them to lower income countries. Yeah, like India and China, things like that. The problem is what about the American people? Whoa, supposedly they're coming up with a new iPhone for you. It kind of a bit harkens back to the old iMac color line, the fruit line, the iFruits. iFruits. I don't know much about it though. I haven't seen it either. I have to see what it's gonna do. I don't know if it's gonna be worth it for us to upgrade. I don't know. I mean, my iPhone 3GS has been a good phone. It has worked well for me. But I'll be honest, until Apple or until T-Mobile gets the refarming done in Winston, I really don't get a chance to even use it at its best performance of 3G, which kind of sucks. Because right now, basically, I got the equivalent of an iPhone 2G or an iPhone 3. iPhone 3. But I'll have to see what happens. That's a good question. Now you're looking at getting a T-Mobile My Touch 4G. Yeah. What would be the reason for getting an My Touch 4G? It's set up for T-Mobile's network, and as far as using 4G, HSPA plus it has a front-facing camera, plus it has a rear-facing camera as well, and it has Android. Now we know about the new Android Trojan that's coming into existence, but obviously that's a concern. And it also has Android, I think 2.3. What is that? Froyo, or is it Jelly Bean? I think it's. I don't think it's Froyo. I think it's the next one, Gingerbread. So I get lost just trying to know the versions because the naming system isn't really consistent. I mean, gingerbread, and then there's ice cream sandwich, and then there's jelly bean. A couple letters in between. So what's a froyo? I don't know. So that's pretty much where we see it as far as our technology goes. You guys were talking, you and Ed were talking about going to Pleasure Beach in Connecticut and trying to establish off-the-grid housing. Is that feasible? No, not in Pleasure Beach, because of the fact is that they don't really want anyone on the island at all. So it's not really a good idea to go there. However, on the other hand, if you look at the other areas of the country, there are places you can live off the grid and have a very happy life. Obviously, if I'm going to be off the grid, I want to keep my T-Mobile service working. Because I'm on a $30 a month plan that gives me 100 talk minutes, 500 gigabytes of data, and it does supposedly offer me like 256 megabytes a hotspot, which right now we don't use because it's only 2G. So I mean, I could do just as good with a dial-up modem than I could on worrying about the hotspot plan. Yeah. But I should actually call it T-Mobile and kind of shake the tree a little bit and go, hey guys, I'm supposed to have hotspot. Where is it? Because when you try to go enable it, it tells you that you got to go to contact T-Mobile and upgrade your plan. Well, it's only 256 megabytes. It's only 256 megabytes. We're going to for testing and see if it works. But do you think it's worth it? I don't think at this point it's worth it, no. But I think that given in a few months' time when they start getting the 3G rollout in Winston to start with, would be good. Then it'll be a good candidate for hotspot service. T-Mobile has made a lot of positive changes and the way they do things, and so there's a new way of thinking, and it's causing a lot of consternation in the wireless industry. The T-Mobile is no longer offering as I understand it, postpaid type services where you got to sign up for a 2-year contract to keep the service on. Now it's a monthly plan. So you go ahead and you buy your monthly access plan. You can get prepaid, no contract for that. If you decide to go with a phone purchase, that is a contract. But you don't have to go that choice either, right? So you can go ahead and buy the phone outright, and then there's no contract. There's no contract. There's no long-term commitment. And AT&T is trying to do the same thing, but it's finding themselves kind of in a catch-22, trying to figure out the best way to go with it. So, and Verizon's starting to offer it too, but they're both are charging a lot more for the plans, and they're not giving the same kind of quality service. So, T-Mobile is really in the up and coming. It really is. The service, the phone calls sound fantastic. I can finally hear you. Yay! I'm serious. I was on the phone with my landlord. I did not have to say, what? Because he didn't sound like he was talking through cotton balls. No, that's a big plus. It was crisp. It was clear. I like that. Thank you very much, guys. This is what I want to hear. Clear conversation. Beautiful. Absolutely. Now, what about the other plan? There's another $30 plan. Yeah, the Talk Lovers. The Talk Lovers plan is what Ed has. That's the 1,500 minutes a month. It's not quite unlimited texting because each text does go against your minutes, but it's really not like he's a heavy texter anyway. He does get a small amount of data. It's like 40 megabytes, but he's not really it doesn't have a phone that can do data anyway, so it doesn't really hurt him any. He's more told, I said, get the Talk Lovers plan, it'll be better for you. And he said, well, what if I go ahead and go buy refill cards? I said, well, the nice thing with the Talk Lovers plan is you don't have to keep it active all the time, because it will expire after 90 days if you don't refill it. So which means there's no contract, there's no long-term commitments. If you decide you don't like T-Mobile, you can go, use up your minutes, let the plan expire, and go to another provider. The problem is the phone he chose is a Motorola, which is a Chinese reproduction brick phone, and it only does 1900, 1800, and 900, which means he's not going to be able to use it with AT&T. Right. So it means he's kind of stuck in that area. But if that's that's what floats your boat, I mean, the phone's nice. It's just big. It's clunky, but he liked it. He likes it. But we're having some problem with figuring out the best way to charge the battery in a timely manner because the unmag charging circuit on the charger doesn't work. So if you don't watch your charge times, you can kill your lithium-ion battery in it by overcooking it. Yeah, and overcooked lithium-ion batteries are bad juju. They can explode. And so you have to watch the battery and just charge. I just told him just charge it about an hour at a time and check the phone, see how it's charging. If it's charging good, it's great. If it's like 2 bars, 3 bars out of the 3-bar battery charge, it means you're doing pretty good rate. So, I mean, that's what I told him. So he's just going to have to babysit the battery when charging it. It's not like you can just drop it on the charge and leave it there for days. Do that, you may not be able to come home to a house. Boom! Boom, indeed. A big, loud kabloom. It sounds almost like something like the Martian would say, "Where's the kaboom? There's supposed to be an earth-shattering kaboom! Oh, pow! Yeah, finally got it, but that wasn't from my space modulator. It was from that stupid person who left their model on a cell phone and I charged you too long. Thanks, guys, for blowing up the earth for me." Really, seriously. By the way, they're coming out with a new battery chemistry. I can. Lithium sulfur. What? Lithium sulfur batteries. That sounds like a nasty cocktail. It does. Sounds like a nasty cocktail. So I also give more density per energy per charge. but I don't really know. That is, every time I hear the word lithium, it just makes my hackles rise because it's like lithium batteries have already been demonstrated in early uses in laptops that they sometimes cause the laptops to burst into flames. So it's also happened with some people's iPhones too. It's happened on iPhones, yeah. But usually in that case, it's usually caused by trauma to the battery, like puncturing it, or water gets in and shorts out the innards. Like if you got a cracked screen, people, I'm gonna tell you right now about that. Please don't use the phone with a cracked screen. It's really not a good idea. You could potentially cut yourself too. So get yourself a new phone screen for God's sakes, or don't break it in the first place. Absolutely best device. It's funny. I got this phone. How come my phone, which has been around for a long time, how come the screen has never shattered on it? Well, here's why. First of all, you can't see it on the camera, but this case has a bezel on it that raises the phone off the table by about 2 millimeters. So when it falls, if I'm talking about on a flat surface, it falls on the bezel, and you'll notice it's got a lot of wear on the bezel here. This is an old Phillips case. It's really battered. But it still works. It's just got a crack on it and stuff here and stuff. But it does work. Yeah, it's a good phone. It's been a good phone. The case is the original case I bought when it over at CVS. Now, by the way, for those of you who are wondering about something, let me bring back. I'm going to show you something because this is something I need your help with. I need more of these. These are the CVS 6-blade razor refills. I only have one left. Turns out, rumor has it that CVS is discontinuing this product. I like these razors and they're really nice and they work really well. And I need you to help me find some more of them because I have not found anybody who has them anywhere. I have looked on CVS's own website and they are out of stock. Why? Well, potentially probably because, as it says, blades made in Korea. Now, Korea, North and South Korea right now are trying to negotiate a treaty, which is great. But maybe CVS decided to not import any more of those blades because of the fact that they are not guaranteed a supply. However, I bought some new 5-blade CVS disposables with blades made in the USA. It's a new trend, like you pointed out. Yeah, the new trend is that people are starting to bring production back here to this country. Absolutely, and that's great for us. But for right now, I need either CVS, please bring these blades into the United States. Make them here, please. It would be so nice if you could make these in the United States, or at least find us another supplier for blades that fit our handle. I have not seen these anywhere else. I looked on eBay, I looked on Amazon, I couldn't find them there. I thought maybe somebody might have bought some to resell, and I couldn't find any. I need more of them. I haven't tried the new disposable 5-bladers yet, but they look like they'd be really nice too. I'm gonna try those soon. So we definitely need some new stuff. We definitely need a lot of new things, and of course, I also wanted to ask my audience is if you guys could help us by please subscribing to my channel. It really would be great. I need you. I need my fans. And of course, if you're fans of Michelle's channel, please do come over here. Are we going to put this channel on both? Are we going to put this video on both channels or just your channel, my channel? Well, I think that's a good question because, if I put it on my channel too, it might only muddy the water because I got my own YouTube channel. Yeah, and you have yours. Yeah, so, but this is a combination video. This is kind of a... Yeah, but I think I'll let you have the honor with this one. because when people go look at my channel, they'll see your channel in my subscription list, so they can look at it that way. And of course, I will mirror it over to Facebook so people can see it there as well. I think it would be much better to have you have your own channel and not have to worry about trying to repeat the same program 2 times. I know Google has a huge data center, but I don't think that they really want to see the hard drives getting clogged up with duplicate videos on 2 different channels, because it kind of makes their maintenance and the upgrades a little harder. It also makes it harder for us to keep an eye on what's going on. Yeah. So, I want to remind you, would you like to say to me again? Please like and share. We need you. Please subscribe to both channels. Absolutely. Well, and we'd love to hear your comments. Certainly would. Whoop! Down there, guys. Send them down there to the comments here. Let's hear from you. What do you got to say? What do you got to do? And things like that. Absolutely. Bye, everybody. Bye.